forgive me for this trap shit. Sergeant Smack make it backflip. Telly Hank did with the action. With the Vato speaking Spanish. Frank Matthews, how I vanish. Poof. Came back like I'm King Tut. Gold BBS is on a beamer. When Fat Cat was 10 queens up. Ball off the profit, not the re-up. Fly like Puerto Rican Jesus. Uptown like I'm Baby May. Just caught a touchdown from the Bay.
He was attending USF and going for his bachelor's in science and business.
They're supposed to be mailing out his diploma actually as we speak.
During a virtual bond hearing, his dad told the judge he was on his way to signing up for the military when suddenly his life went off the rails. Adams is accused of killing Trayvon Albury and Daniel Thompson during a recording session in November.
I was facing my computer and I heard 2 gunshots and I turned around and he was standing there holding the gun.
Who was standing there holding the gun?
Adam was.
Joseph Meeks owns a makeshift recording studio in his shed and rented it out to Adams. He says after recording 1 track, he heard 3 gunshots.
Okay, what did you see?
Basically, all I seen was the people not moving and Adam standing there with a gun.
Meeks thought he was next.
Basically, I just feared for my life and I was panicking. I didn't know what to do, so I put my hands on my head because my ears were ringing. And then words came out of his mouth saying that they were going to rob or that it was a setup or something of
Billy
that nature.
Adams is known in the rap world as Ace NH. But in the real world, he is a double murder defendant. In November of 2020, Adams is accused of gunning down 2 men in a converted recording studio in Lutz.
Breaking news off the top here. Detectives, they are trying to piece together a motive after finding 2 men dead in Lutz. Hillsborough County deputies say the shooting happened behind a home on 23rd Street in a shed. There was a makeshift music studio. Deputies say there was a group of people inside when the shooting happened. They do not think it was random, but do not have any information on a suspect at this time. They are asking anyone who knows anything else about this to call the Hillsborough County Sheriff.
Investigators say Adams is a gang member, and they believe the shooting was connected to a gang feud involving weapons and money.
I was facing my computer and I heard 2 gunshots.
Joseph Meeks owns a studio and witnessed all of it. He testified during Adams' bond hearing. Adams graduated from USF with a bachelor's degree in science in management. The judge agreed to release him on bond with conditions that include house arrest and an ankle monitor. But now Adams tells the court he and his family are sitting ducks after receiving several threatening text messages. Your whole family's gonna die. We want you first, then we want your brothers, then your parents. I want the whole clip dumped into your head. The threats go on and on. Adams' attorney now wants the bond restrictions modified to protect him and his family from any harm. The judge agrees to tweak some of his bail conditions that will hopefully avoid more bloodshed. Gloria Gomez, Fox 13 News.
And listen to this. The judge is also going to allow Adams to record in a music studio for a limited time in an undisclosed location while he awaits trial.
Yeah, we back. It's Shay's Popalot. Mobb. We on our way to the Gunshine State with it. Tampa this time. Lutz to be more exact. And today I'm going to bring you one of the most bizarre cases that I have ever covered on Mob Ties. Shit just bizarre. Now, besides bizarre, this was just a heinous act, leading the sheriff that was heading the investigation, Chad Chronister, to say that this was a violent execution the suspect performed, and although the attack was clearly targeted, we will not allow gang-related disputes to disrupt the comfort and safety of innocent residents in any of our communities. Now, that community being Lutz, after doing my research, I seen it was only about 23,000 people in the city. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that they're not seeing a whole lot of double executions, especially inside rap studios. So this is just a very crazy case. Now, the subject that I'm going to be covering today is going to be a guy by the name of Billy Ace and H Adams. So based on my research, Ace and H is a up-and-coming rapper that I read they said was born in Virginia, was raised in Georgia, but had been doing shows in the Tampa area since around 2016 or 2017. Now, while doing my research, I did see that he released 4 YouTube videos, the first one being 2 years ago titled Thug City, and the most recent video titled Find a Way he would go on to release on August 9th of 2022. Now, besides from being a rapper, it's also said that he is a graduate of the University of South Florida, but according to authorities, he is a documented Crips gang member. But according to authorities, he's going to be the person responsible for the mini massacre that would occur in November of 2020 on North 23rd Street at a studio in Lutz. And the details with how the scenario plays out is very, very eerie. Now, the government star witness, who is going to be the person that runs and operates the studio, would testify that on the night of November 19th, a man that he only knew as Ace would contact him through Instagram from the handle clutch_25ace about renting space at the studio. He would go on to testify that he had booked studio time with Ace 4 or 5 times prior to the studio session that night, going on to say that Ace would arrive at the studio at about 10 p.m. with 2 men that he did not know. Now, according to the witness, the studio session was going according to plan, just like the previous sessions had gone, while the 2 unidentified men would sit in the back and just hang around while Adams was in the studio booth recording his music. Now, this is when, according to the witness, Adams would exit the studio booth and he would email Adams a finished copy of the music that he had just recorded. And it would be at that point where he would have his back turned to all 3 men when he would proceed to hear gunshots, saying that he spun around to see Adams holding a gun and the men collapsed. The witness said one man had fell to the floor and the other was slumped in a chair. Horrified, he would say that he would exit the studio while Adams would proceed to fire another shot into the victim that was slumped in the chair. Now, the coroner would determine that one of the men would be shot 1 time in the back of the head and the other one would be shot 2 times in the face. While wrapping up his testimony for the state, he would go on to say that Adams would make some sort of comment along the lines of it was a setup, he was about to be robbed, and he would flee in his car. Authorities would arrive to the scene about 5 minutes later to find the 2 victims, and they would almost instantly ID Ace and H as the person responsible for the shooting, pretty much arresting him 2 days later. Now, at his trial, they would say that it was over a gang dispute, and one of the victims of the homicide, along with Ace and H, would identify themselves as Crip gang members. Now, it's something that really throws me off sometimes when I'm doing these Mob Ties episodes, and it's usually state by state, but a lot of the states that I've resided in, and I've resided in Florida, which is crazy, is when you have a scenario when it's a person responsible for a double murder and it's an eyewitness, you pretty much could wrap up any bond situation. But not in this case. The judge would go on to grant Ace and H bond with special conditions stating that he would be on house arrest and he would have to wear an ankle monitor. I tried to research it and I couldn't find no information when this case is set to go to trial. But with the details of it being so outrageous, I had to bring it to the streets just to see what y'all think. But me, personally, I really hope he's not guilty, because with all the evidence lining up, it seems like he really just gave himself away, because according to the witness, he contacted him from his own Instagram. He booked studio time with him prior. And what kind of wild shit is it for you to book studio time with your ops and smoke them? Man, y'all get in the comment box, man. It's your boy Popalot. Y'all make sure y'all follow me on Instagram, on Twitter, POP_A_LOT. Now, make sure y'all hit that red subscribe button right under this video so y'all know when this real trill spill shit is dropping. And y'all flood the comment box. Let me know where we need to go, what cases we missed, what gangsters we have to cover, and get at me however y'all see fit. It's your boy Popalot. Mobb.